One of the big things is all the footage that is being released to like right wingers. Like they're posting all this footage of the of January 6th. And it's footage, hours and hours of footage. Now, let me tell you something, kids. If I had hours and hours and hours of footage that proved my case, Austin Bryant, what's happening? Austin Bryant, hey man. Yeah, we have to get him in here. You want to maybe I don't know, maybe you want to stop by the show Wednesday or Friday? What do you think? Can you join us at some point? Anyways, so they let me tell you, if I had footage that disproved a great conspiracy, fucking like they like if they had the entire footage of the Georgia election stuff, and you can see very clearly like it's super high quality, and you can see that they obviously weren't bringing ballots out from under the table and all that kind of stuff, which you can see and everybody knows. But you know what I'm talking about? Like if there was like they said something happened and then we got footage like the leak, like that the leak happened at 9 a.m. and not at 11 p.m. like they say, and so the footage comes out from 20 different cameras of that area of what happened when the actual leak happened, how short it actually was. All right. If it was necessary and I'd been grinding on this for, and everything had gone against what I was trying to say, and then finally this broke it loose and I could show you this footage and ta-da, I would have it running as my background while I was talking on every fucking show. Let me get this over here. Sorry, I don't know why it slid to the side. Right? I would have that footage just running in the background as on a loop. Right? Like, here's everybody just doing their shit. Anytime I turn around, look at that. Nobody's doing shit. Okay. But the footage has come out. And I'll show you. It's interesting to me. Let me show you. This is how stunningly full of shit it is. This is a woman named Julie Kelly. But she's on Bannon's War Room. Look at this. This is Bannon. This is another clip. Bannon, the Republican establishment hates you as much as more than the right or left, whatever. This kind of thing. Notice how they're using this one source of one moment of footage as if this is the sort of Benny Johnson clip that they're running. Is that the same? Yeah, they got it from him. I don't know why they don't get it directly from wherever, but this is sourced out. We'll look at it in a minute. But normally, ladies and gentlemen, Bongholio, we haven't seen him in a while because he doesn't put out short clips anymore because he's scared of the criticism. But let me show you what his shtick is in this stuff. So this is, he pulls out footage and there's an appeal to emotion right out of the gate. And then there's also, like he uses, remember, this is video footage. Thousands of hours of it.
Is this a VO or is that? Yeah, okay. Check this out. Here's a video from inside the Capitol. You're going to see a guy in a red shirt there walking by.
Mm-hmm. No timestamp. No location information. Just a shot of him walking.
You see him?
Yep, on a loop too. So obviously was there a time scrape where he walked through it? It was like 12:01 p.m.
Some of you see where I'm going with this.
No, I don't.
Dan, that's what you're pulling this video for. Folks, does that look like a takeover of government to you?
No, as a matter of fact, in the 40,000 hours, you picked people who were marching in a straight line. What they did on either side of it, or how they actually got into the building, is the part of it. By this time, we're at the neutered point, but we'll see because you didn't timestamp it. We don't know when this happened during the day, so yeah.
That guy you're looking at right there that Guy stopped on is dead.
Okay.
That's Matthew Perna.
Oh, it's the guy who did himself in?
He was only in the Capitol a few minutes, didn't steal anything, didn't burn anything.
Just stepped over an unconscious police officer to get in there?
Didn't beat anyone up, didn't bear spray or shoot anyone.
Just benefited from the bear spray and the physical altercations? By the way,
Matthew Perna is...
That's not, is that the entirety of him in the building?
Dead. Matthew Perna was locked up by our FBI. And during the course of the plea agreement, our Department of Justice decided for that that they were going to seek a terrorism enhancement for Matthew Perna.
Because of what he was posting, because he was on his phone filming things and threatening people's lives and that kind of stuff. Not just because he was, they didn't like the way he walked. It was the, you know what, it was the color of his hoodie that got him.
9 years in prison he could have gotten.
Mm-hmm.
Matt took a rope and hung himself.
Was it related to this?
In his garage. You play that again, Guy? Would you mind? 9 years in prison for that?
No, 9 years in prison for, and I'm assuming he didn't even get the 9 years in prison. He did this before. He didn't actually go to trial. But what he's filming there and what he's posting there while he's in there, which is once we find these motherfuckers, we're going to kill them kind of stuff. That's why. Also, again, is the self-off switch aspect of this due to that potential 9-year sentence that they were looking for? Because if he thought he could have won and he believed in Donald Trump and he could find his way out and blah, 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 that seems a bit extreme considering other people fought it and went through it. Don't shake your fucking head like you can relate those two things. Also, this is not the entirety of him in the Capitol. Is it because he's what he saw before or after? Is it because of what he participated in before or after?
9 years. Terrorism. This is why the left, ladies and gentlemen, did not want you to see this.
See what? We saw all this shit before.
The left didn't want you to see this because now they...
This dude didn't get fucking executed. He did himself in because either if it was related to this, what he was going to face in court, or something wholly unrelated.
They know you know that we do not...
No, the cops didn't shoot him. He's not another fucking Ashley Babbitt.
Have two systems of justice. We have one. It is a communist system of justice.
What? No, by the way, I don't know if he knows this, but in communist systems, you are not in charge of giving yourself capital punishment.
A hierarchy. If you are a Trump...
by the way, he uses hierarchy a lot, and it's very weird because, you know, Jordan Peterson's, you know, been pushing this whole like pro-hierarchy idea that, you know, hierarchies based on competence are necessary for society versus hierarchies based on, you know, birthright or other shit or racist nonsense or whatever. And I think that's why the word is stuck in his head. But again, it's one of those like, you keep using that word.
Reporter, and you do that. You walk in the Capitol, some through an open door. You don't get charged with trespass. You get a terrorism enhancement.
Not just for walking.
Potentially 9 years in jail. Or even...
Okay. Here we go. Let's look at let's see. Perlman, Gen 6 signed. Hold on. This is okay, so this is the New York Post story about this. Hold on. Capitol rioter dies by suicide of broken heart over case. Let's see. Close this. This is the, take this with a grain of salt, it's the New York Post. A Capitol rioter killed himself while awaiting sentencing, dying from a broken heart over his case and because the justice system killed his spirit and his zest for life, according to Kent. Matthew Perna, who pleaded guilty in December to 4 charges related to attempted insurrection, killed himself at home on Friday, which is very sad. Like, this is totally unnecessary. The constant delays in hearings, postponements dragged out over a year. Because of this, Matt's heart broke and his spirit died, says his obituary at the Herald. Matt did not have a hateful bone in his body, embraced people of all races, income brackets, and beliefs, never once berating anyone for having different views, the obit added. He drove to Washington to attend Trump's rally and later entered the U.S. Capitol, where he was caught on video wearing a red Make America Great Again hoodie, chanting USA. The FBI also found video of Perna talking about walking right into the Capitol building with the purpose of exposing Mike Pence as a traitor, as the Veep attempted to certify the president. Okay. Again, what's the result of being a traitor? Perna, a follower of the QAnon conspiracy movement, admitted to the FBI that he was at the Capitol for about 5 or 10 minutes, but claimed he was pushed inside by a crowd and that he didn't intend to enter the building. His criminal complaint states, During a subsequent interview, he copped to using a metal pole to tap on a window outside the Capitol because he was frustrated. To tap on a window. The Pennsylvania man pleaded guilty to all 4 charges he was hit with and was due to sentence April 1st for the district. He attended a rally on Jan 6 to peacefully stand up for his belief. After learning that the FBI was looking for him, he immediately turned himself in. They wrote in his obituary, he entered the Capitol through a previously open door. He did not break it in as reported. He didn't break, touch, or steal anything. He didn't harm anyone. He stayed within velvet rope taking pictures. This act, he was persecuted by many members of his community, friends, relatives, people who never met him. Many people were quietly supportive, and Matt was truly grateful for them. His family noted that he graduated from Pennsylvania State University, loved animals, spent time traveling throughout Europe, Asia, South America, India, and the U.S. They stood by him during this devastating thing. They say God never forgives anyone more than they can handle. The statement is not biblical, nor is it true. Rest easy, Matt. You are finally free, in all caps, in true Trumpy fashion. There he is, by the way. This is a picture of him in the crowd that overran the cops, beating them. So the idea, again, does anybody think that if you go to Bongholio's house when his family's home and you're the second person through the window, you can stay? The first person he might shoot or have an altercation with, but everybody after that is just a peaceful person, just a pedestrian, really. Right. And obviously if they're, you having not gone through a metal detector, not, having cargo pants on or a backpack or nobody can hide a gun under a hoodie, thank God. Meanwhile, there he is. Yep. Again, a sad story, but not indicative of some bullshit where he was hung, but these fuckers built a gallows.
Eventually hung himself.
Which is what he and others had planned for the traitor Mike Pence that day. Oh, the irony.
You're a leftist. You march inside the Capitol and occupy Kevin McCarthy's office during the CR and you don't leave. What happens to you? Jack shit. And Jack left town.
Yeah, but you actually entered through the metal detectors and then you occupied this by sitting down. You didn't storm in through the windows and you didn't knock down cops on your way in. You entered through normal means and then occupied. That's how all these folks got in for the CR occupation, or anybody like people from the ADA, who support the ADA or showing up in the hallway in wheelchairs. They didn't storm the fucking place. They got in legitimately and then they refused to leave. That's different. Also, the CR itself is not the counting of the electoral ballots. As a matter of fact, it is I would argue that our budgetary needs are crucial, but they are not nearly as time sensitive as, say, the counting of the votes and the establishment of new leadership. Because if that were true, then the Republicans trying to stop the vote on it entirely or trying to block having one at all would be guilty of insurrection every time they try to do it.
You understand why they wanted to hide these tapes from you?
No. I understand why you don't want to show other video of this dude, especially in the crowd in the front where they've just overrun the cops.
It's not for the reasons you think.
No. Well, it's in all fairness, Bongholio viewers, not a lot of thinking going on.
They wanted to hide these tapes from you because they don't want you to be able to compare and contrast them to what the left gets away with, because what hierarchies and tyrannies don't want.
Yes, because if you burn down a Target in Minneapolis in the summer of 2020, it might seize up our democracy.
More than anything is exposure. They don't want to be exposed.
Yes. Unlike, I guess, youth pastors and all the guys who worked for Trump who've been guilty of exposing themselves. Or that guy that Rudy Giuliani brought to Four Seasons public farm equipment, where he was the first guy up. That Rudy was like, we got several people to talk, but my first choice is this dude who exposed himself to an 8 and 11-year-old.
And that's why they hid these tapes for so long.
No, they didn't. McCarthy kept them back, and they gave them to. If they were hiding them, why the fuck didn't? If Tucker wasn't going to use them, why didn't he pass on his fucking password to you. Good Lord.
I got another one coming up. I'm not.
Oh, well, shit. Take back everything I said. He's got another one.
Not downplaying anything here, but there's clearly.
I'm not downplaying anything here. I'm just not showing the cops getting beaten, bear sprayed, overrun, having fucking fire extinguishers and flagpoles thrown at them and jabbed into their head. I'm not showing any of that shit. And I am taking one shot of this dude walking through a hallway at his most peaceable in an attempt to convince you that in a court of law, this was the single piece of evidence against this gentleman. And that, I mean, did he really hang himself if he was waiting to go on trial if we have a communist judicial system? Because in many ways, didn't they kill him?
Another story to tell here that they've been trying to hide from you. He's
Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Another story to tell that they've been trying to hide. Let's hear it.
Tapes get even worse.
Do that? Well, I mean, they'd have to, kind of.
Let me take a quick break, folks.
Oh, God. Let me do a quick commercial after the dude who did himself in and sell you on a mattress.
Partner 25. This is their best offer yet, and it won't last long. With Helix, better sleep starts now. Started for me last night. I slept 8 hours and 20 minutes, which is freaking crazy. I never sleep that long.
8 hours and 20 minutes? Would you go click and sleep? All right.
Here's another one, folks.
Okay, here's another one. Here's another one, and then we'll move on.
This is another video. The January 6th Democrats, the Liz Cheney and Kinzinger Democrats. Oh, they're Republicans. No, they're not. This is what they wanted to hide to you, which is the weirdest thing because, look, there's again, you see some Capitol Police officers. You see
walking backwards because there's a threat.
Backing up.
See the guys with the red hats that are already in here? See these guys? This is where they were corralling. But notice no fucking timestamp on this shit at all. I would like to say that right out of the gate. Put the fucking time of day up here, asshat. All these motherfuckers. Tucker did it. Tucker was fucking like reversing shit and putting like clips of the shaman, in reverse order of him walking down the hallway at different times and using footage that wasn't even from the Capitol Police. It was actually from inside, taken by other people that like the New Yorker got. Let's look at this.
This is what they wanted to hide to you.
Yeah, and police don't walk backwards away from people unless they like them. It's kind of like a mating ritual, like birds.
It's the weirdest thing because look, there's again, you see some Capitol Police officers.
Yeah, it looks like they're herding psychopaths.
You see backing up, the doors open.
Yeah, they're trying to slow them down and they're trying to lead them in one direction.
People walking in. Again, I'm not telling you this on another story that went on outside. We've seen
outside. The fuck are you talking about? There is no story inside if there isn't a story outside. If you didn't have to violently attack the fucking building, once they're inside, the cops are they're outmanned. They're overwhelmed at this point. And they've come up with a plan because they know which hallways are sealed and which aren't to lead these dumb fucks through these hallways into the rotunda and out the other side so they get dumped back out onto the fucking street. And the vast majority of them, they really believe, will go that way and go out this way. And that's exactly what happened.
1,000 times. I've commented on that. I'm not afraid of talking about that story. I've said it 1,000 times, folks, probably more.
Yeah, I don't have to reiterate the fact that bad things happened outside. I just have to, hopefully ignore the fact that, the cops were technically outside when they were dragged out by the mob, beaten and tased and pepper sprayed. So that happened outside. I guess outside. They took Rosalind, what's her name's, what was her name? Damn, I'm blitzing on her name. The girl who died of a drug overdose and was like, the cops were trying to revive her after the maggots had walked over her body. she technically, they took her away on a gurney. That was outside.
The videos
Rosalind Boylan, thank you. Roseanne Boylan, thank you.
Like that drive them crazy because they knew if they kept it hidden that they could keep telling America that when people were inside the Capitol, it was a mass rampage of them trying to burn the place to the ground to keep the narrative going.
Also, no one ever said that. The point was to get inside there and force the representatives to vote for Donald Trump, to hold the place. It wasn't a torch mob to gut the fucking place. Again, this weird comparison between like people burning down a Target and what these assholes were intending to do once they got into the fucking Capitol. They were intending on taking Mike Pence outside and hanging him and shooting Nancy Pelosi in the fucking head and installing Donald Trump. They didn't want to destroy the Capitol. They didn't have anything against the building. They wanted to seize control of it.
It was a government take.
But they were also stupid.
Over. Look at this. I'm not telling you it's the only story. I want to be clear. I'm just telling you I'm not afraid of the whole story. It's the left who's afraid of showing.
We saw tons of this fucking footage. What is he talking about?
You this. Not me. There were hours of video like that.
Right. Because there were thousands of these fuckers that they were herding through.
They do not want you to see it.
Why would we give a fuck? Why does he think we wouldn't want them to see that these assholes, after they stepped over the bodies of police officers and attempted to bash their heads in, like were climbing up the outside of the steps, that when cops finally were trying to get a hold of things and source them through and out the other side of the building, that they did it with some level of dignity and didn't start shit with these assholes for fear of their own safety. While, again, this is why you won't see any timestamps on any of this shit. This is it. This is why none of these, what the right doesn't want you to see, is the fucking timestamps.
Which tells you we're in a hierarchy.
Yeah, hierarchy. It's a hierarchy, guys. It's higher than the archy is hierarchy with the hierarchy of people that do the hierarchy things. Again, a hierarchy? I mean, I know they mean a two-tiered justice system and somebody's in the higher justice system than the people in the lower justice system, but hierarchy. Try harder.
I want to just throw this tweet up there. This may seem totally random.
This is all, and it's okay, Bongholio. This is all totally random. You picked a random shot of this guy tweeting a death threat probably to somebody who did himself in, and you want to blame the Justice Department because his community and people around him had turned on him, so he felt isolated and he did himself in, which you should never do. But that somehow that's him being assassinated by communists. And then you want to show this other herding picture, which is, again, random, happening at the exact same time that they're beating cops in another doorway.
But again, we are in a hierarchy.
It's a hierarchy, guys. It's higher than the archy.
Not two systems of justice. There's one.
One hierarchy.
Some guy gave us this. Hold on.
Yeah, get it. I'll wait.
He gave us this handy-dandy middle finger guy.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a hand posing thing. You can get them at Michael's. It's for artists to draw the hand.
Okay, so yeah. This is what they're doing to you. Here. It's
a little bent. That's a little
weird.
What
the left is doing to you.
Christ, and I thought my desk was a mess. Look at the angle on this. Look at that. He's got little football guys. He's got a baseball with his name on it. His coffee's behind him. He's got some, I don't know, he's got, what is that, L-theanine, so that he didn't get shaky from the amount of caffeine he's consuming. A lot of baseballs.
They don't care. The left does not care. Put up that.
We don't care about a wooden middle finger.
KTVU tweet, Aggie. Look, so a bunch of pro-terrorists who support terrorism.
Okay, the traffic jam caused by a Bay Bridge protest delayed the delivery of organs for transplant surgeries, UCSF told KTVU. Right.
Clogged up the Bay Bridge out in California.
And KTVU, being the liberal media that it is, cheered this and said, we hope those capitalist people waiting on their kidneys die because climate something. I don't know what the Bay Bridge protesters were talking about.
They delayed the delivery of organs for transplant surgeries, possibly getting people killed. What happened to them? Nothing. Yet, Geef, can you go back to that second?
By the way, I would like to remind you, this fuckhead was defending the Canadian truckers who were blocking roads as if nobody had to get to the hospital during that time. Also, possibly.
Video again, please, from the Capitol. The VO. Block organ trend. These guys, 25 years, terrorism.
None of those people got 25 fucking years.
Folks, this is hierarchy.
Guys, it's hierarchy. Jesus Christ. Hierarchy. You do realize no organizations function without a structural hierarchy, right? Is this guy now saying we shouldn't have a president or a senate or a vice president, or it should all be the House now, I guess? And then who's to say who the House members are? Are they supposedly higher in the hierarchy than their constituents? Why doesn't everyone just move to Washington, D.C. and camp out?
It's not two systems of justice. Stop saying that.
I'm not saying we have it. You're saying that. I mean, this is a gripe you have with your own people. This is fucking stupid.
There's one. There's we're in charge and you are not.
Well, that's... What do you think these people were trying to do, stupid? These people were literally attacking the Capitol in effect to say, we're in charge and you're not. It's been a while since we've seen Bongino, and I don't know why I thought it was impossible for him to get dumber, and yet he's always surprising us, and that's exciting. You're watching House Sparks Mega Worldwide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show, and of course, I'm on fire. Like, his reading comprehension has really gone downhill.